What's going on, everybody? This is Abil Mahari here, live for MehariNation Radio Sports, or I should say Sports Radio. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to the greater basketball community. Man, it's a beautiful evening here in Minneapolis on a good Friday evening, man. Boy, I tell you, I've been enjoying a lot of good basketball, man. You know, the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament have been spectacular, brother. I'm telling you, man. You know the thing is, is that when we thinking about basketball, man, especially during March Madness, we think about great performances, upsets, just surprising matchups, you name it, And I'm so impressed of what I saw tonight from Zion Williamson. We're gonna get into that. I'm gonna talk about the Duke performance against North Carolina State, and then we'll talk about my thoughts on the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. Just spectacular basketball that we're seeing here tonight. I'll make sure you guys come in here and check it out. Check it out, though, man. You know what I'm saying? But let me get into my post game thoughts on the Duke and North Dakota State game that just happened an hour ago. Duke took care of their business as everybody expected them to do, you know. But Duke didn't. Duke came in a little rusty to start the game, man. They wanted to try to jump on North Dakota State early and jacked way too many jump shots. They jacked about five straight threes in the first 5 minutes of the game, and after that timeout, Coach K had to just address to his team. Listen, you're going in a hurry, settle down, and pound the ball inside to Zion Williamson. I mean, anytime that Zion Williamson gets the ball in his hands, he does work in the paint. I mean, there's nobody in college basketball that could stop Zion Williamson one-on-one in the paint or anywhere on the floor. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Zion Williamson is just a once in a generation type player that I've never ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? It's just unbelievable the kind of things that he could do on the basketball court. So let me get back into the game. Let me get back to my post game analysis. North Dakota State really did a good job of kind of slowing the game down and trying to use backdoor plays and try to get Duke to try to jump on their defensive mistakes. They did a good job of that early. But the problem was they kept turning the ball over. And I said to myself at some point in time, Duke is going to take advantage of those turnovers. You know what I mean? So by the time it was halftime, Coach K stressed to, listen, just get Zion the basketball and let him go to work. And that way you can get shots off of Zion Williamson's attention. And boy, did he came out blazing in that second half. He had 11 points in about 5 minutes of play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's unbelievable how this guy can just finish in the paint. Explosive athletic ability. He could jump. He could make passes, and very balanced too. Perhaps my favorite part of that game is when he stole a pass, and then he was basically dribbling the ball behind his back, almost lost his balance, but kept his balance together, and then still was able to make the left-hand layup. And I just sat on my recliner chair, just impressed of what I saw. You know what I'm saying? The thing with Zion Williamson is that he's a once-in-a-generation type player. I mean, you have to draft this guy as a number one overall pick. There's no excuse to it. Just like when Shaquille O'Neal came into the draft in 1992 and when LeBron James came into the draft in 2003. I mean, there's no way to scratch the surface of what this guy can do at both ends of the floor. So when Duke came out of the second half, they were only up by 4 points. But then when Zion Williamson started scoring 8 straight points and then made this ridiculous dunk after he missed the free throw, I said to myself, yeah, the game's over. There's no way that he can survive. Basically, there's no way that North Dakota State can continue to turn the ball over and then allow Zion Williamson to just dominate in the paint. You know what I mean? It's crazy what this guy can do at both ends of the floor. And then by that time, Cam Reddish was making threes. RJ Barrett was basically playing under control. See, here's my thing about RJ Barrett, though, man. RJ Barrett, wants to try to be the number one player in that team. But we all know is Zion Williamson, man. But the one Achilles heel that could be detriment to Duke is two things. Their impatience, they will turn the ball over, but also they jack up way too many threes and they shoot at a low percentage. And that's what's that and against good teams that they'll face against in the tournament, they can't afford to have a bad shooting night. You know what I'm saying? They they can't afford to shoot badly from 3-point range. They have to continue to pack the ball inside of Zion Williamson and then use Zion Williamson as a decoy to try to get shots for others. And you know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. You know what I mean? You know, Duke, it's Duke's tournament to win at this point. It's Duke's tournament to win. If they have a bad shooting night against a very good team, or if they just play badly, they can get beat. They certainly can get beat. So, Zion Williamson finished the game with 25 points. RJ Barrett finished with 26 points. And here's a little fact for you guys. This is actually the first freshman duo to score 50 or more points since Mark Allery and Johnny Dawkins did it way back in 1984. I mean, you think about all the lineage of Duke players that came out of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for those two guys who scored at least 25 plus together as a unit, I mean, it's hard to beat that. It really is. You know, it's just hard to beat two guys that can take over the ball game. You know what I mean? But I hope that Duke can learn from what they were not doing well in that first half and make sure that they come out ready for to play on Sunday against VCU or Central Florida. You know what I mean? I'm sure they will beat either of those teams though, but it won't get easy down the line. I can tell you that. So the other stuff that came out of yesterday too, my Golden Gophers also won too. You know, I was very surprised of how well they played against Louisville, especially the way they shot the three ball as well. You know what I mean? And my Gophers are a team that don't shoot the 3-point shot very well, nor do they take many threes. They only average about 5 attempts a game, and they only shoot about 20%. But they were, I think, 11 of 17. So they were really on fire from 3-point range, though, man. So and Jordan Murphy did a great job of taking care of business in the paint. So it's gonna be interesting too. And then also, I'm highly impressed at what I saw from John Morant of Murray State. I'll tell you this though, guard play is essential, especially during the NCAA tournament. And what I saw from John Morant, I'm telling you, bro, he's got really good upside, and he's got the potential of being the second best player in the draft. The one thing I said about it in Cali's stream, though, man, is that John Morant reminds me somewhat, of Rajon Rondo before he came into the league. His ability to be a playmaker and can finish at the rim. But also, here's a bigger thing too. John Morant is a pass first type of guard. He doesn't look to score. He only scores when he needs to. You know what I mean? I mean, he looks to score whenever he needs to. And then at the end of the day, though, man, I mean, the draft this year is Zion Williamson or bust. That's just it. I mean, John Morant will be a good player, and I believe he'll be an all-star when he gets to the league, but he's no Zion Williamson, though. That's just, I mean, there's just no discussion to that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this tournament, though, is going to be very interesting to see the kind of matchups we're going to get and the kind of things and the kind of performances we might see from Zion Williamson, John Morant, all the other players that we may not know of. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting tournament, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell you what, though, this weekend should be interesting. There's a lot of good games coming up, though, too, and I'm very impressed by that. JMJ 2121, what's good, homie? Yeah, man, just sitting back on a Friday night, just discussing basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? I was meant to go live on last Sunday, but I was just too tired and it was just exhausted from work, so I wasn't able to. But I promise you though that I'm gonna try to do more live streams every Saturday and Sunday, and maybe I'll try to sneak in a Friday night one since we got the tournament and stuff like that. Since I love basketball so much, so I'll try to get some stuff in, and try to get my analysis and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this though, whoever matches up against Duke in the East region, good luck. I mean, seriously, good luck. If Duke, you're going to have to catch Duke on an off night to probably beat them. You're going to have to catch them jacking up threes, not looking to get the ball inside of Zion Williamson if they're going to have a chance to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But Bill, my Tar Heels need to get it together. Absolutely. You know what? I'll tell you this, though. I was going to say this about about Houston. I actually have Houston coming out of the North Carolina's bracket. I think Houston's a better experienced team, and I think their guard play is very underrated though too. But Kobe White though is a very tough guy as a combo guard. But here's my final four teams. As I'm gonna pull off the bracket in just a minute here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the bracket here and let you know who my final four teams are. Just wait 1 second. But yeah, though, I mean, I'm highly impressed about how Zion Williamson played tonight, and if he continues to play like this at this kind of level, I mean, there's no way any team can beat them. I mean, seriously. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, Mark Wonderland, salute, homie. Thank you for coming, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna try to do more live streams for you guys. So try to make sure I keep myself ahead of the game, and try to make sure I can find my niche in defining my voice. That's one thing I'm learning from World Breaker too. You got to be able to find that voice and find that ability to try to connect with your audience, though, man. Okay, so coming out of the East, I had Duke coming out of that. Also, coming out of the West, I don't trust Gonzaga. I have either Michigan. Yep, I have Michigan or maybe Murray State, based on how John Morant has been playing. The South region, I have either Tennessee or Virginia. I might go with Tennessee because I don't trust Virginia. And then for the Midwest region, I actually have Houston coming out of that. Yeah, that's what I got, brother. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting tournament to say the least. There's gonna be a lot of interesting matchups. There's gonna be a lot of interesting performances there, man. And I'm kind of excited of how this tournament will turn. Man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun, though, man. But I'm anxious to see how John Morant and Zion Williamson will continue to perform down the line in the tournament. It's just. Let me tell y'all something right now. With due respect to John Morant, let me tell you this: John Morant was sensational when he's had that triple double. But I'm sorry, you're not passing up on Zion Williamson. If you pass up on a guy who's a once in a lifetime type of talent, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, man. I'm just telling you that right now. You don't know what you're getting yourself into if you just pass up on Zion Williamson, man. So right now, watching also Ohio State taking on Iowa State in their Midwest first round matchup there too. And right now, Iona's actually beating North Carolina 38-33. Man, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, JMJ 2121. Your Tar Heels got to be able to get it together, man. Otherwise, we might have a repeat of what happened to Virginia last year. I hope that doesn't happen, though, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I mean, this generation of the tournament is actually really, really funky. You know what I mean? Because the power conferences has a lot of one and done players, while the mid major and the other mid level colleges though have like more experienced players that play their system and know their roles of what they can do to try to win the game too. And I mean, Baylor almost did it. You saw VCU who made it out of the first four, making it to the Final Four. I mean, and also what else do we have? We also had Loyola Chicago that made it to the Final Four last year as well. I mean, I'm telling you, sooner or later, one of those mid-major colleges will win the national championship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gonna be very interesting how college basketball is gonna shape out. I guess for in the next decade too, as we head into 2020 next year. Yeah, though, man. I mean, Zion went. I mean, oh man, I'm just still in awe of what I saw from Zion Winston. I mean, think about this for a moment. 6'7", 285, which is unbelievable balance, power, jumping ability, IQ. I mean, soft hands and great footwork. I mean, how do you? I never seen an athlete like that ever. I mean, it's just unbelievable what I'm seeing out of this. Yep, and Butler too. That's right. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, JMJ. Yep, exactly. Man, if Butler, you know what? If Gordon Hayward made that half court shot against Duke, oh man, upset of upsets. Oh my goodness, that would have been the all-time greatest upset in NCAA tournament history. Man, oh man, yeah, that Butler team was very special though, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what started the whole thing with the mid majors. Coming out of the Final Four and stuff like that. Man, boy, college basketball has become really weird this decade too. But yeah, but let me get back to what I'm saying about Zion Williamson though, bro. I mean, the only thing that he really needs to work on is two things: his jump shot, which I think he'll get better once he gets to the pros, but also he's got to learn how to demand the basketball. He's got to let R.J. Barrett, demand the basketball, from demand the basketball and just say, "Hey, I'm the most dominant player. I'm going to lead you guys to the promised land." Mark Wonder said, "Fort Gordon Hayward." Yep, that's right. Yeah, man. If he would have made that jump shot, bro, I mean, oh my goodness, it would have been crazy, man. Would have been really crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting off in about the next 7 minutes though, because I promised our Stormy B man I'll be on his live stream, so I'll be down there in a few minutes. But I'll just continue by also discussing this too. I hope my Chicago Bulls get the #1 overall pick so we can get Zion Williamson. But honestly, to be truly honest, I think the NBA is going to lean more towards making sure that the New York Knicks get the #1 overall pick so they can get Zion Williamson. They listen, of all the great franchises, they've been waiting for the New York Knicks to be relevant again. You know what I'm saying? This as bad as an owner James Dolan is, Dolan can't always control the circumstances around his team. That's just yeah, that's just a thing. I hope that he doesn't get drafted by the Knicks because his career is going to be a waste down there. But the NBA wants the Knicks to be relevant again, so I think they'll most likely lean towards that direction and try to make sure that all the ping pong balls are basically the New York Knicks. I've never been a fan of the NBA draft lottery. I think the draft lottery is a bunch of crap because they always rig up the ping pong balls, making sure that they're just one thing that they want to get for TV ratings and stuff like that. I mean, you go back to, you know, there've been a lot of weird things coming out of that draft lottery, though, man. Like 1993, the year when the Magic drafted Penny Hardaway and got the #1 overall pick. Think about this for a moment. They had one ping pong ball out of 66. Think about that for a moment. One ping pong ball out of 66, and you somehow got the #1 overall pick. I think that should have raised red flags that the NBA wanted the Orlando Magic to be the team of the future or something like that. And then Cleveland getting the #1 overall pick back-to-back years and ended up drafting Kyrie Irving and then getting Anthony Bennett, who became a major bust, probably worse than Kwame Brown. The Knicks are going to be relevant somewhere down the line. If they get Zion Williamson and they get a superstar out of that offseason, man, the sky's the limit for that Knicks team. But selfishly, I would love to have my Bulls to get the #1 overall pick to get Zion Williamson, but it ain't gonna happen. That's just how I kind of see it, man. That just ain't gonna happen, though, bro. But yeah, bro. But shout out to the North Dakota State. They played a good game in the first half. They did what they tried. They tried to do whatever they can. They really took it to Duke though, and Duke kind of looked a little surprised though when the game started. And then after that, man, it's like, you know, once Duke turned on that switch in the second half with Zion Williamson, there was nothing they can do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I want the Jazz to be relevant, period. Oh, yeah, bro. I was going to say, your Jazz has had great teams in the past, though, man. With Stockton, Malone, you know, and what else? Carlos Boozer and Darren Williams, though, man. I mean, y'all Jazz had some great teams, but uh they ran into greatness of Michael Jordan, and then with your Jazz ran into Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, the Jazz used to have some really good teams back in the '90s, and then back in the 2002 with Carlos Boozer and Darren Williams, Andre Kirilenko, Mehmet Okur, and who else? Gordon Garachek. The Jazz were a pretty good team back in them days, though, bro. But again, they ran into they ran into some good teams like the Spurs and obviously the Lakers with Kobe, bro. Man, I mean, they just didn't get the lucky breaks to try to break through. You know what I'm saying? You know, boy, I'll tell you though, man. Jazz got some good teams. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna start closing this out. I'm actually gonna head down to Stormy B, man, to try to join his live stream that's currently going on in progress. Now, two other announcements I'd also make though too. I'm constructing my own website called MehariNation Radio/Sports. Y'all could check that out when it comes out by next week. I'm gonna give you guys my unadulterated opinions on everything in the world of sports, and also all my commentary. And I'm gonna send you guys a link to my channel so you can go subscribe there and try to get some of that content though, bro. And the other thing too is I'm actually going to purchase a VIP experience tickets to the Final Four that's going to be in Minneapolis. Young man, I just watched a video on you. Thanks, World Breaker. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Back to what I was saying. I'm actually going to go get the VIP experience so I can try to get some interviews, try to get you guys some content, and then also I'm going to try to get you guys a tour around the city of Minneapolis to the Final Four Fest, the Reese's game, and obviously the semifinals and national championship game. And obviously, it's going to get you guys the best content out there for you guys so you can all just follow around. Y'all make sure to smash that like button there too as well on the way out as well. And then I'm going to make sure to try to do more live streams to try to get a panel in and try to discuss boxing, sports, other related social issues. Whatever goes down. You know how the LDBC is. We don't run away from anything. So thank y'all for coming. Thank you to Cali Enigma. Salute, homie. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. I'm actually going to head down to Stormy B, man. So you all make sure to tune in to Stormy B, man. And I'll be there shortly. All right. This is Abil Mahari from MehariNation Sports /radio. And I'm signing off. Deuces.